Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. It's Lisa Copeland, and I want to welcome everybody to week 2 of Sell to Survive. And today we're going to talk about brand yourself to scale yourself. I want you to think about how do you turn your personal brand, and it doesn't matter what you do, okay? I don't care what your business is. If you're in retail, if you're in insurance, financial services, real estate, automotive, does not matter. How do you become undeniable, right? And when I say becoming undeniable, I want you to think about how do you become the leading authority in your field, on your street, in your city, in your town, in your county, in your state, in the country, in the world. So a lot of times, you have to take it in bite-sized chunks. And most of you know, I've got a pretty big background in sales. I started my whole sales career off in the automotive industry, then went into mortgages, insurance, financial services, back to automotive, and now in real estate, where I've got the honor of leading over 915 agents with eXp Realty. But I've created this to be something that is brand agnostic and that is industry agnostic, because I believe that the rules of sales never change and the rules of success don't change. I've got a very good friend. Most of you know who he is. His name's Grant Cardone. He and I go back many, many years. And, he says, and he said it years ago, and it has just stuck with me ever since, best known beats best. So if you become best known in your industry, you become best known in your city, in your state, in your neighborhood, in your county, in your community, you can beat the best product and the best price. So many people get wrapped up in the fact that, I've got to have the best price. I've got to have the cheapest product. I have to have this. I have to have that. I'm going to tell all of you guys and gals, none of that matters. You just have to be the best known. You've got to be the top of mind person that when people are thinking about cars, real estate, insurance, retail, financial services, anything that you sell, that your name comes up. Okay. And that's not going to happen without a lot of work and a lot of intention. Before I start talking about the different things to do, I'd love if you guys had paper and pen. You will get a copy of the replay. We had over 100 people registered for this, and so I always make sure to do the replays because it's hard to jump in sometimes in the middle of the day. So thank you for those of you that showed up. You'll at least have a chance to have the open questions at the end. So you've got to be intentional about building your personal brand. And I want you guys and gals to think about what are some of the biggest brands in the world, like top of mind. Put it in the chat right now. What are they? What are they? Like, what are some of the brands that you immediately just go boom? Like this is a company that you think of all the time. I mean, one that's Nike, exactly. Just do it, right? We don't think of tennis shoes. We think of Nike. Nike's done a great job. Now, they've built their brand. Think about this, though. They've built their brand through great marketing and through controversy. There has been controversy around their brand, right? Look at Bud Light. That is how you destroy a brand, right? Is to be too controversial. So there's a happy medium, because I do like to tell people, and anybody that has ever worked with me or worked for me, is that I do want you to be undeniable and I want you to be authentic. So, but you have to be careful sometimes being your authentic self or being undeniable, or you end up in Bud Light's category. And there's a happy medium to controversy, and I think that you fall into Nike territory. And then, you have brands like a Chick-fil-A, and you have brands like McDonald's, and you have brands like that they're top of mind. Like, hey, I want to go eat lunch. I want to go to Chick-fil-A. I want to go to McDonald's, right? And if you guys want to turn on your cameras, I love that. You don't have to, but I do love it. Skims. Okay, Skims. That's little Kim Kardashian, right? I think of Spanx, you think of Skims. I think it might just be the level of compression that you need. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. But there are brands out there that are absolutely undeniable in their space. And that's what I want to help every one of you to do today, is to become undeniable in your space. See, you don't need to be undeniable in my space. And I don't need to be undeniable in Farrah's space or in Lolita's space or in Shannon's space. I just need to be undeniable in my space, to my sphere of influence, because no matter what you do, chances are you have a sphere of influence, and those are the people that you want to build your brand with. So first thing you want to do is you want to define, looking at my notes here, I worked on this for quite a while yesterday. You want to define your brand persona. You want to understand who you are, your values, and what you stand for. And I've said for years, it doesn't matter what you sell. This is actually a quote I did. I'm up on the Girl Scout wall when I won Women of Distinction one year, and this is on my picture. It doesn't matter what you sell. It's what you stand for. If you stand for something big enough, people buy what you're selling. Think about it. How many times have you done business with a company, with a person, because of who they are and what they stand for? Like for me, one of those companies would be Chick-fil-A. I love what Chick-fil-A stands for. I love that they're closed on Sundays. I love, there's a lot of things. Are they perfect? No. Have there been some stuff lately? Probably. But overall, I like what they stand for. So I try to support that business. Then there are companies that I don't like what they stand for. So I don't support their businesses. They might have the best product. They might have the best price, but I'm not going to do business with them. See, I will do business with, and so will every one of you, if you can somehow align with that company, and people will do the same thing for you. So no matter what you sell, if you don't have to have the cheapest price, you have to have the biggest mission, the biggest brand. You have to have the biggest megaphone. And that's what I want you all to be able to create, is that brand megaphone. And the great thing about most of us, put it in the chat if you're an entrepreneur, if you work for yourself. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, but you're pretty much responsible for generating your own income, right? Or generating your own sales, or you're a commissioned salesperson, whatever that looks like, it relies on you. All right. You don't have to boil the ocean when you're out building a brand. I'm here seeing yes, yes. Farah says yes. Camille says yes. Kim says yes. Rachel says yes. Go ahead and throw it in here. I know most of you on here. And I know you're out there every day making it happen. So, you just have to worry about who are the people in your universe. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to identify who are the people in your universe. Is the product or service that you sell, is it something that you need local? Is it, do you have a local product or service? That might be you're an automotive, although that's not that local because you can send out stuff. Are you in real estate? Well, that's not even that local because you can give and receive referrals. Are you in insurance? Are you in financial services? What does that look like? Where are you? And who do you need to talk to? Okay. Number one. So you have to identify who are your people, because not everyone's going to be your people, and that's a-okay. Now, when you build a brand, you don't want your brand to be polarizing, but you want it to be authentic. And so there is a fine line between building a brand that is authentic to you, who you are, what you stand for, right? And a brand that is like, put your stake in the sand, here's who I am, and if you're not just like me, then I don't want to do business with you, right? Like that is brand suicide. But there are plenty of people that do it. I just don't want anybody on my watch to do it, right? So there's a fine line between authenticity and brand suicide. So understand that. So I'd love to see you before we get back together next week to come up with just some things that are authentic to you. And I'd love for you to put it in the chat right now. What are some of the things, if you were to poll 5 of your friends right now, and you were to send them a text and you were to say, what's the one thing that you think about? What's the one thing you would say about me? The one thing. What would your friends or family, and keep out your family, what would your friends say about you? Or even your clients? What's the one thing? Because that is going to be the one thing I really want you to hone in on. And I did this little test, and I've done it more than once in my life. And the two things that people have said about me is you're authentic and you're loyal. Like I'm crazy loyal to my friends. I'm crazy loyal to who I work with, my family. Like you touch one of my friends, you touch one of my employees, you touch somebody on my team, you touch somebody in my family, you're dead to me, right? Like that's good or bad. I don't know, but that's who I am. I can't help it. Okay. But what I was happy when I sent that text out to my friends, that they saw the things in me that I am. And I'd love to have you guys try that over the next week. Send it out to 5 people and see what your friends say about you. Because it's interesting sometimes to let you know. And I mean, I got just the same answers from everybody. Just boom, boom, boom. You know? And so, I mean, that's a really good exercise. And that is what you start to build your brand around. Okay. Who you authentically are, number one, and how other people see you. All right. Number 2, you want to craft a compelling story around yourself and your brand. I had the honor about, oh God, it was in 2015 to work with Tony Hsieh from Zappos. And he and I created a training course together called Driving Happiness. So I was in the automotive industry then. And Jen Lim, who was his partner, who wrote the book Delivering Happiness with him, she came to my dealership. She even spent the night at my house. It was so crazy. She didn't want to get a hotel room. So I had them, had a suite upstairs. She and her team stayed up there. It was interesting. But anyways, we decided that, I was so enamored with the whole Zappos story about delivering happiness and about how they worked so hard to deliver a great experience for their clients. Like if your shoes don't fit, you can send them right back. They'll send somebody to pick them up. Like their brand was so great. And it was after I had read the book Delivering Happiness that I thought that Delivering Happiness was mine and Tony's deal. Oh my God, I was drawing a blank on the Zappos book name. Delivering Happiness. Yeah, ours was Driving Happiness. Excuse me, I get so confused. That I wanted to bring that to the automotive industry. So I reached out, got with Jen Lim. Anyways, so we created this training called Driving Happiness. And it was like a customer service. And, and that was our brand story, right? That is who we were. We wanted to we didn't just want to sell you a car. We wanted to deliver happiness to you. Like it should be a happy thing for people to do business with you. So how do you create this storyline? How do you create this brand story that resonates with your audience, right? Like if they do business with you, they're going to have the best experience. They're going to have, somebody who's by their side. They're going to have a partner in it. They're going to have a partner in their negotiations. They're going to have somebody that protects them. They're going to have somebody that does everything that they can do to make sure, like, you've got to create your brand story. And I'll tell you, it was very hard for me when I transitioned from automotive to real estate, because I could not get it in my head. And it really took some work as to what my brand story was. It was like, I went from being one of the #1 top car dealers in the world to now I'm selling real estate. What? Like, how could I create a story around that? And I'm not going to take up or burn our time now with that story, but I went to somebody I trust very much. And he and I sat and we talked about how to create my brand story. And he said, it's no different. Like your values from when you were the #1 car dealer in the world for Fiat and Alfa Romeo, your values haven't changed. You're still going to deliver that great service. You're still a great negotiator. You're still somebody who cares about your clients. You fundamentally want your client to win. You want to create the best experience in the world. All you're doing is taking it from this product to this product. And boy, I'll tell you, I talked about it last week. We are our own worst enemies. We are. I almost stopped what is a great career almost 4 years later in my own head, because I couldn't get my mind around why am I here? I got to the point where, why am I alive? Why am I on planet Earth? Y'all, it was crazy. Okay. It was crazy. And so it was all up here. I'm still the same person. I still am authentic and loyal and all of those things. So none of that changed. I just went from selling a car to selling a house. Why would I get so in my head? Put the comments in the chat. I love to have interaction. Like, have you ever done that to yourself? Have you ever just almost stopped before you started? And it's not because of your lack of talent, your lack of desire, your lack of knowledge, your lack of expertise. It's not because of any of that. It's because we get in our own heads. And we get into our heads and we are our own worst enemies. It's called imposter syndrome. And I was so afraid to fail in real estate because I had done so well in automotive. I was so afraid to fail, I almost didn't start. I thought, oh God, what if I fail? That's something that people will remember forever. Well, guess what, guys? Nobody remembers anything about us. Promise you that. That doesn't happen, right? We are our own worst critics. So when you're out there and you're trying to brand yourself, to scale yourself, and you want to be undeniable, you've got to be your biggest fan. And then you've got to find people you trust that you can go to and you can say, hey, tell me about myself. Tell me what you like the best about me. Tell me why you like to do business with me. You know, don't just rely on this yourself or your own head knowledge for that, because if you do that, you're going to have a hard time blasting off. I know, because I did it. That I was like embarrassed to make that phone call to this friend of mine and to say, like, I'm really scared. I'm afraid. Like, I've never been afraid, but I'm really afraid that I'm going to fail. And, you know, what do you see in me? What do you see? Why am I doing this? Why did I get up this morning? Guys, it was so bad for me. I can't even tell you. But the next book I write, I'm going to tell the whole story. I still remember where I was sitting and where he was sitting. He was at his lake house, 2.5 hours on the phone with me. And by the time I was done, I had a story. I had a reason why I got into real estate. It was always my reason. I just didn't know how to frame it up. And that has been my talk track ever since. You know, I am passionate about helping people build generational wealth in real estate. So I've taken all my experience that I have learned over my 30-year career. And now I have a vehicle. I have an asset that I can help people build generational wealth. That's my story, by the way. I'm giving it to you. So now, you know, I have a vehicle that I can help families build generational wealth with. You know, when I was in the car business, unfortunately, I sold people depreciating assets. Now I sell people appreciating assets. And now I can help people build their legacies, their wealth, their families, you know, blah, 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 blah. I think you guys get the story. I can roll it off my tongue to a client in a minute. It's the truth. So now all of a sudden, whether I've been doing this for 1 day, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. Because nobody cares how long you've been or how long you have done what you have done. They care about why you do it and how it will benefit them. See, I didn't tell any of you guys, I'm the greatest real estate agent in the world. I have this, I got this trophy, I got that trophy, la, 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 la. You don't care. All you care is about what I'm going to do for you. And I'm going to help you build generational wealth in real estate. I'm going to show you how to invest. I'm going to show you how to save money on taxes. I'm going to show you all of that. And the vehicle I have is real estate. So as you're working your brand story through, it's not about you. It's not about the trophies. It's not about the accolades. That's good for you. And I'm all about trophies and accolades. And if you're on my team, you know that. But how do you take your brand story and take what you do, why you do it, and how does it benefit your clients? Super important. So that's part of crafting your compelling story. Number 3 is you've got to have a consistent online presence. This is a tough one. I know it is. I do whole courses on this, right? And I would love to be able to tell you that you can just be on Facebook and be successful. That is a lie of the devil. You can't. And I remember when I first got on social media, like my husband and I would fight about it. He's like, why are you on that phone all the time? Why are you doing that? Why are you posting this? Why are you posting that? No. And now he's like, God, like, why aren't you posting this? Like after 10 years or however long it's been, like he finally gets the value of my social media. I mean, I've made millions of dollars on social media back from when I was a car dealer. Guys, I had a car stolen one time. And this is when Facebook kind of all that got started. It was in 2012. We posted a picture. It was a yellow Fiat. I'll never forget. We put a picture of a yellow Fiat on my Facebook page. And I tagged a bunch of my dealer friends and it went viral and we got the car back. Can't even make it up. There's more to the backstory of the whole thing. But bottom line is viral on Facebook, dealers from all around the country calling us. We're going to keep an eye out for it. It was a pretty distinct car, which is why it got stolen. But it got stolen on a test drive. So, you know, I mean, we had some intel and some information behind the whole thing, but we went viral with it to the point where the person that stole it gets arrested and then threatens to sue me for defamation of character. That's how viral it went. Okay. Like we put her driver's license on Facebook, or the fake one she gave us for the test drive. So anyways, the power of social media. Okay. So what does that mean? You need to be an authority on LinkedIn. Okay. An authority on LinkedIn. You need to have great pictures for Instagram. You need to have stories. You need to have your family. You need to have things that people relate to on Facebook. Why? Because Facebook's an older audience. So Facebook is like where I didn't even go to my 40th high school reunion because I'm like, I've kept up with everybody on Facebook, and I don't want to go out to California right now. So I didn't go. So Facebook's kind of for stories. Twitter is kind of for what your opinions are. And it's also a great news feed. But I'm not going to put pictures of my grandkids on Twitter. Right? So you got to understand the different mediums. Okay. Depending your age, you want to get TikTok. And I say your age. I think TikTok's, I'm not convinced TikTok's a necessary evil. I've never done business on TikTok. But I have a TikTok and I don't spend a lot of time on it, but it's out there. But some of the younger millennials, younger agents, the younger people are looking to the younger buyer or seller of whatever they're looking for information. They're looking on TikTok, whereas somebody my age, 40s plus, they're probably looking on Google. Okay. So you want to have a presence on Google My Business, on Google, all of that, right? So, know thy social media. Know thy social media and know where you need to show up. But you have absolutely got to master it. If you want to build a personal brand, to scale yourself and to be undeniable, you cannot ignore. Have you guys ever heard the saying, it's too big to ignore? It's just like this problem's too big to ignore, or this whatever's too big to ignore. Social media is too big to ignore. And I see some heads shaking. And then I just had one of you on this, I won't call you out, text me and say, I would rather do anything than social media. I get it. Most days I would too. You know what? But I've learned to give myself grace. I used to think I had to do all this to get onto social media. And I don't anymore. Like, I'm like, you know what? There are days I'm in, there's a few of you that were on my call earlier today. Farah is one of them. Lolita is one. They were on my call as my team. I think Marilyn was on there too. My hair was 2 hours ago. It was in a baseball hat. I did not have one drop of makeup on my face. Okay. And then this now, because I said literally, guys, I got to end my call. I got to go. I got to go get in the shower. I got to go do my hair, my makeup. Right. And so, I think that as women, especially, stop us in the fact that, we're like, oh, if we're not perfect, or if we don't have the perfect content, whatever, I don't want to get on social media. Well, nobody wants to know the perfect you, because none of us are perfect. Nobody gets up looking like this, or like Rachel looks right now, or like Farah, or like Kim, or like Lolita. Like, nobody gets up looking like with our hair and makeup on. If you guys would have been on this same call 2 hours ago, you'd have been like, oh, that's what no makeup and a baseball cap looks like. Okay, cool. And I used to fight that. I don't fight it anymore. That's me. But you've got to take that same authenticity, right? Going back to authenticity, you have to take that to your social media. And I'm not saying like go look like a wreck or anything like that, but sunglasses and a baseball hat go a long way. They do. I've learned that. If you ever see me in baseball hat and sunglasses, I've got no makeup on, and I probably just left Pilates, and that's okay. That's okay. So building that authentic brand, but guys, you've got to post every single day on 3 to 4 platforms. End of story. I mean, like, I'm not even going to give you a hall pass about it. And you want to build an undeniable, scalable brand. Okay, what scales more than video? See, video's there and it's representing you and it's talking for you when you're not there. This right here will live for a long time, because I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and I'm going to have my guys do all of the things that they do to it to make it like woo 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 woo, right? Where it's gonna go out, and hopefully tens and thousands of people will see it eventually, right? That's how I scale me and I scale my brand. It's not because I'm going to sit live like I'm doing right now from Austin, Texas. It's because this video is going to live on. How can you create content, which is the next one, by the way, is content creation. How can you create content that lives on? We got a bunch of people jumping in right now, guys, because the original time was 1:30 and it got messed up. So bear with us here. If you're just jumping in, Jan and some of these other people, you will get a copy of this from the beginning, just so you know. So don't fret. We're just going to keep moving through. Brand yourself to scale yourself, how to be undeniable. And we're talking right now about content creation. And the best way to create content, ladies and gentlemen, is this thing right here. This is it. Press record. I don't need your hair perfect. I don't need, all I need is for you to have something to say that adds value. And it might just be, okay, hey, I'm at the sandwich shop and in Belton, Texas, and I just had the greatest sandwich. I love shopping local. I love supporting local businesses. Like if you're in this area, this is me talking to my camera. If you're in this area, you should check this place out. Boom, done. Okay. That is really a good social media post. It's probably a better social media post than you just took a picture of the sandwich, put it up there. People want to see you. People aren't going to follow you if they don't feel like they've got any engagement from you. And guys, like that's one I had a hard time with too. I'm like, oh my God. I worked with a media company out of New York when I sold my dealership in 2016. And their name was Two Market Media. And I learned, and they've handled some of the biggest players out there, but Grant Cardone being one of them, Mel Robbins, a lot of people, Tim Grover. And the thing that I really struggled with, and I didn't believe them, but now I believe them. How many years has that been later? 7? Is you got to press record. Any chance you get. Okay. And there's you need to be posting about your family. You need to be posting about your business. You need to be posting about your community, and you need to be lastly posting about what your product is, right? So your business is a different post than what your product is. Like if you've got a product and there's a proof of concept behind your product. And then another great one is to post a video testimonial. I will tell y'all, nothing makes me crazier than to see written testimonials with somebody's first name and last initial. I'm like, that's not real. And it isn't even the people's pictures all the time. And realtors are famous for this. They'll post their picture, some great studio picture of themselves, and then some written testimonial. I'm not even saying it's fake, but isn't that the first thing that comes to our mind? Like that wasn't really, why do that? But let's say, that you're with your client and your client's like, I love you. I think you're amazing. Ask them for a video. You can't make that up, guys. You cannot make that up. Ask them for a video. Put that video up. Tag your client in it. Okay? Do all of that. That is how you build a brand. Imagine if every day you had a piece of a video up. And I'm talking, guys, it's a 1-minute video. It's 1:30. Because what we know too is that people aren't going to watch more than about 1:30. So, what is it you can do? And the best way that you can get people to engage with you is for you to promote them. I taught that today on my call. Like, when you meet people, find out about them, right? It's called the Ford. Let me grab this real quick. So I wrote all this down.
The digits for class?
Ford. So so when you're having conversations with people, right? So, think about Ford, F-O-R-D. You want to focus on them. You want to ask them what their occupation is. You want to ask them what their recreation is. And then you want to ask them what their dreams are. Ford. Focus. Be present, right? Nothing worse than having a conversation with somebody and they're on their telephone. We've all had that happen. And we've all done it to people, myself included. So by the way, Marilyn, what do you do for a living? Marilyn's going to tell me I'm in the insurance and financial services and real estate business. Wow, that's really incredible. God, what's going on in the market right now? This is me talking to Marilyn. Wow. So you must be so busy doing all of that. Like, what do you do in your downtime? What do you do for fun? Now we're asking about their recreation. Well, I like to snow ski. Oh my God, I like to snow ski too. If you really do, okay. Again, going back to our authenticity. And then, you talk about the dreams, like, someday I hope that I can own a home up in Lake Tahoe so I can whatever it is. Like, you want to tie in what they do to what would generate you. That is how you build an authentic conversation with somebody. And see, people follow your brand. The best brand builders in the world. Think about some of the biggest influencers in the world. Okay, that we all know who they are. They spend time getting to know who their followers are. They create content around their followers. So just because you're in the automotive industry does not mean you have to create automotive content. It doesn't. It doesn't. It means you have to create content that your followers want to hear. Maybe you're in the auto industry, real estate industry, insurance industry, retail, whatever, and you're creating content about the town that you live in, about the street you live on, about the guy or gal that built your house, about the local business and community, about local events. You start creating content that other people want to listen to and to follow. Because I have found the hard way, people don't just really want to watch a video about how great you are. Hey, I am so great. Like, look at this right here. I got this award from eXp Realty, da 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 da. And I can sell more houses than anybody else, and I'm better than Joe Blow at Remount. How long is someone going to watch that video? They're not going to. They could care less. But if I go out with a video that says, I am so passionate about helping your family build generational wealth, there's some incredible programs that are out there right now. We have some great interest rate programs. We have some great programs that have limited down payments. You can get into a new house today for only 1%. That's only like $4,000. Like, I'd rather see, this is me talking in the video, I'd rather see you guys take that money. You can get the money from your 401k. I mean, you can go out there and you can have the dream of home ownership. Like, that means everything to me. Like, you do a video like that, someone's going to be like, well, I want to do that. I want to buy a house with 1% down. I want to do this. I want to do that, right? It's not about my trophy and how great I am. And I am great. And I got lots of trophies. But you don't care. What is it I can do for you? So how are you going to create content to your followers, to your people, to your SOI, sphere of influence, that people want to follow? Because the only way that you can build a brand, right? And a great brand to build, I don't care what business you're in, is that you're an advocate for somebody else. You are the person out there who is going to help every first-time home buyer buy a house. You're the person out there who's going to help everybody with bad credit. You're going to help veterans. You're going to help teachers. You're going to help single moms. Like, you are, like, it doesn't matter what you sell. It's what you stand for. I said this earlier today. This was my mantra forever, still is. Doesn't matter what you sell. It's what you stand for. If you stand for something big enough, people will buy whatever you're selling. They will. They will come to you no matter what. So, who are your people? Who are you trying to sell to? Who are you advocating for? Who do you want to help? The single moms, the divorced moms, the divorced fathers, the widows, the military, the teachers. I mean, anybody who's disenfranchised, right? The first-time home buyers, the first-time car buyers, the people who have, gone through life with never having insurance, which is a huge mistake, but you're going to be the one who's going to get people in the game, and you're going to protect their assets. I mean, I can spin stuff up all day long, twice on Sunday, and I don't care what you do. I could have it spun up into something in a minute. Because every one of us, no matter what we sell, how we do it, our product, the company we work for, it doesn't matter. It's about what can I do, Lisa Copeland, what can I do to help the people that I serve, to help the people that I work with every day? And that is the content I want to create. I want to help my city be strong. I live in a small town in central Texas called Belton, Texas. We're population 17,000. I think I've brought it to 18,000 moving people up here, and people are not happy about that sometimes. But I want to tell everybody that I think that they need to live in small town America. I believe in small town America. I believe in small businesses. I believe in the town square. I believe in the lake. I believe, and so it's, so when you're creating your brand, when you're creating your content story, and your compelling story, you always want to lead, guys, always want to lead with, I believe. That's so powerful. when you're telling people about yourself. I believe in small town America. I believe that entrepreneurs should be successful. I believe that everybody should support small business. I believe that you should buy real estate from me. That would be the one that I would actually kick out of the beliefs. In my head, I know it, but everything else I'm leading up to it so that they start to believe that they should buy real estate from me, because I believe so much. And if I believe, they're going to believe. And if I believe that the sky's falling in and the economy's terrible, our clients are going to believe that too. And if you're on my team, you know that I beat this into everybody's head. Like, we have got to go out there high. We need to offer, there's a solution to every problem, by the way. There is. For every business and every problem, there is a solution. And it's our job as the experts, it's our job as entrepreneurs, it's our job as business owners, as representatives for our companies, it's our job to solve problems. You have a business if you solve a problem. I don't care what you do. I want you to think about, what problem do you solve in your business? And then that is also part of your compelling storyline. I think that Nigel said that she does massages. I've known Nigel forever. Nigel, just shake your head. You're a massage therapist, right? Okay, I was at my massage therapist last night at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8:30. And he solved so many problems for me. Today I jumped up, I did Pilates, I'm in great shape. I freaking love this guy. It's on my list today that I'm going to write this badass Google review about him. He solved my problem. An hour before I got there, I was in pain, I hurt, I was miserable. But you know what? I got there and I was so excited because I knew he would solve my problem. I knew it. I've gone to him before. He's amazing. And I knew he would solve my problem. So how do you get that kind of confidence around your business that someone says, I'm going to go meet with Jan or Carla or Lauren or Deborah, and I'm so excited to see them because they're going to solve my problem? Because if you don't solve problems, you don't have a business. They don't need you. You're an afterthought. You're a maybe, you're a whatever. But and what did I do before I left my massage last night? I booked another one for next Friday. And I'm thinking, God, I wish I would have done it for next Wednesday, because that's a week and a week's good. But my schedule wouldn't allow till next Friday. And I'm bumming I can't get there in a week. That's how well he solves my problems. And so, and that's part of when you're creating your compelling story. It's like, you want to tell people the problems they solve. Just like I told you, I help people build generational wealth through real estate. What problem do I solve? People are broke. They don't have assets. They don't have appreciating assets. Their money's sitting in the wrong place. It's sitting in the stock market, or it's sitting in the bank, deflating by the minute. I can solve that problem. I can solve it. I can take that money, and their 401k is losing money. I can take that money too. I can solve the problem of inflation by teaching people how to take money that is deflating and invest it into an appreciating asset called real estate. Okay, I've solved a problem. So think about that, guys. Like that, and again, that is my spin on the problem, but it's my brand, it's my compelling story, and I'm sticking to it. And any of you are willing, you can take my story and make it your own. That's why I do these. I want to help people be successful. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. Does that make sense? Can all of you see what problem that you solve? Show me some love in the chat, people. Show me some love in the chat. Melissa Munch says, absolutely. She's the best mortgage person that I know. She solves problems. I have somebody that I can't get financed, or I've got a problem. I call my girl, Melissa Munch. I'm like, I got a problem. I need to get this deal done. And by God, she gets it done. And I know that. See, I know she's going to solve my problem. So guess what? I don't call 6 other people, including my husband, who's in the mortgage business, who's a great mortgage banker. But for me, it's easier just to go chop, chop, chop with Melissa. Thank God he's not on here. I would not have told that story otherwise. But it's a true story. See, she solves my problems, and she does it quickly, and she does it the way I like to do business, which is chop, 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 chop. I hate a whole long drawn out thing. If you guys know me, I just can't on anything. if somebody wants to just drag me through it and give me every detail, I don't want to know. I don't care. Just solve my problem. Get my deal done. Close it on time and on budget. That's all I care about. And Melissa will tell you, to put it in the chat, Melissa, I don't even call and ask her any questions. I don't have to anymore. I've had several years of her solving my problems. So I don't bug her. Now, so aren't those the kind of clients that every one of us want? You want a me. But that takes time. It takes trust. It takes me believing that she is the authority, that she knows more than I know about what she's doing. And I know a lot about mortgages. I spent many years in the mortgage business. So in my mind, though, she knows more than I do. So I'm like, I'm going to turn it over. Right? So when you're creating that compelling story, when you are creating content, when you are defining your brand persona, you have got to exude that confidence, that people need to feel about you the way that I feel about Melissa. They need to feel about you about the way that I feel about my massage guy. Like, I just know he's going to fix it. He fixes it every time. He's never let me down. I've come in there almost in traction in a wheelchair, and I walk out, I'm like, I'm going Pilates tomorrow. And he's like, slow down, cowgirl. I'm like, no, I'm going, I'm good. And I'll just come back next week if I jack it up again. I don't care, because you'll fix it. So I think I've driven the point home, but that's how I want that. That's the brand. That is the compelling story that I want you guys and gals to be able to create for yourselves and your businesses. I want you to be undeniable to your clients. Undeniable. Like, no problem. I'm going to go see Kim and I'm good. I got this. I'm not going to worry about it. And guess what? I don't even care what Kim charges. And literally, when I paid for my massage last night, because it was like an hour and a half, and it was like, I don't know, $120. I literally said to him, I go, that's it? Like, you fit, like, really? That's all you're charging me? He's like, yeah, that's the number. I'm like, damn, I'd have paid $1,020 for you to fix me the way you just fixed me, right? So, all right, so we're going to keep moving forward here. So next one is to, so we had content creation. So next you want to demonstrate your expertise, right? You want to position yourself as an expert in your niche. I think I've kind of driven that home, but you've got to demonstrate it. Like Melissa doesn't just get to, I'm just picking on her because I do so much business with her. And she's not on my team, right? She's on my team, but not on my team. But, like, she, I don't have to hear over and over again how great she is. Like, her expertise to me is results, right? But until you have results with people, you're going to have to demonstrate your expertise. And how do you do that? Press record, people. Press record. How do you demonstrate expertise? You get video testimonials, because I think written ones are lies. I really do. You get video testimonials. You write blogs. And frankly, I don't even like written blogs, because everyone thinks that they're AI nowadays. You get on and you do, write this down, StreamYard.com. I live and die by them. And you start blasting out to, right? You start blasting out to your sphere of influence, your expertise. Talk about, if you're in the auto industry, talk about the newest things from National Transportation Association, NHTSA. Talk about special promos that are going. If you're in real estate, talk about a new property you've got. If you're in insurance, talk about, life insurance and the benefit of life insurance. If you're in retail, you've got a storefront, or whatever. Talk about a new product you just got in. Talk about a sale you're having. Press record. You will never, ever build a scalable brand and be undeniable without video. If you don't want to do video, you should get off right now. You won't do it. And there's so much more to the video thing that I'm not an expert on, but I'll tell you guys, I outsource it, and I outsource it. I have a guy now, but I've outsourced it many times to things like Fiverr, and there are people with, and they can do a great job. And then there's another one that you can sit, like, do long form video. It's great. Do it on StreamYard or whatever. And it's called Opus, OPUS.ai. I swear by it. It'll take your long form video, meaning like this, I'm talking, right? I will upload it to that. It'll cut it into, depending on how good my content is and how compelling it is, it rates it. It cuts it into shorts of like 1 minute to 3 minutes. It puts the words on it. Guys, that's it. I mean, just sit and talk to your computer and hit record, or to your phone, and upload it, and AI will do the rest for you. So tell me in the chat, who here is willing to do video? Have I convinced anybody in this room that you've got to do video to build an undeniable brand? And I want every one of you to be undeniable because you showed up today. Like that, if I could tell you how much weight that pulls with me, that you showed up. I hate people that don't show up. Now, I just do. Like, you have an appointment and somebody stands you up. We had 100 people registered for this today. They're busy. Things come up. I know show stuff like this all the time, and I catch it on the replay, and they will catch it on the replay. But I think you're going to get the most value because you showed up today. You're engaged. You're paying attention. You're taking the notes, right? Show up. Oh, what was the name? What was the last name of the last one? Opus. Yeah. Google it, Lewis, but it's OPUS, and it's video clipper. It's a video clipper. Like it's just everything. And Nigel, you should have your people giving video testimonials about how you changed their life, how they walked in like this and they walked out doing Pilates. Like seriously, it's such a big deal, y'all. It's such a big deal. And I want every one of you, like, you don't have to be Grant Cardone. Okay. You don't have to be, what's the other guy? Gary V. Like where you're global and you got 12 million followers and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that would be great. Maybe. I'm good enough friends with the Cardones to know that that also brings another element to it that's not always as great. So let's just try to be undeniable in our piece of the world, in our neighborhood, in our shopping center, at our dealership, at our real estate company, at our city, at our state. And from the state, you could go to the world. You don't have to boil the ocean to be an influencer. You've only got to influence the people that do business with you, or potentially the people that will do business with you. Okay, that's all you got to do. You just have to influence them to choose you. Like, hey, pick me, without you constantly. Have you guys ever been around somebody and they're constant, like, oh, here's my card, and oh, hey, this, no, hey, that, and you're just like, oh my God. And you're afraid that when you get around that person, all they're going to try to do is sell you something. Like it doesn't work. And God bless them for trying. I personally respect the hustle. Anybody tries to sell me, I respect the hustle. If somebody asks me for my business, I will really try to consider it if it's a person I like and a product I can get behind, because I'm a sales coach. So I respect the sales hustle more than you'll ever know. But the average consumer does not. They hate the sales hustle and they will avoid you at all costs. But if you can draw them into your story, if you can get them to follow you, if you can get them to believe that if by doing business with you, that their family or their friends are going to be better off for it, you own them. You own them. Trust me, that's the truth. All right, we're going to kind of start wrapping up here. Networking. Right? How do you build and brand yourself and build an undeniable brand? You got to network. It's not going to happen sitting at your house, folks. It's not going to happen putting up one post a week. And networking can also be social networking, right? You have to be a friend to have a friend. What does that mean in the social media world? You need to answer people's stuff, which, God, I tried to. I just had a birthday and it was so hard to get back with everybody. I just wanted to so bad. And you can't, because that is the day when you have one friend in real life and you've got 3,000 in your social media world, right? But trying to get back with people, engaging with people, join groups, join Facebook groups, join groups that are interesting to you. Meet these people, engage with them, share their stuff, right? Share their stuff. That shows that you want to be part of the community. You can't build your own community if people don't follow you, and they're not going to follow you if you're not interested in them. Guys, it's the craziest thing. Imagine that. People want you to be interested in them. People want you to talk about what they want to hear about. That's the way you build a brand, right? Leverage social proof, which I talked about, which would be showcasing testimonials, endorsements, case studies from satisfied clients. Social proof can build trust and credibility in your brand. Social proof. If you have a good interaction with a client, it should be documented. And people don't mind doing it. Document it and then share it on their social media. Thank them. Right? Thank them. At Mary Jones. Measure and adjust. Use analytic tools to track the impact of your personal brand in your business. You know, that's really 2.0, 3.0. I really think that you've got to really start building the brand before you start measuring the brand. You know, it's pretty easy on social media to measure stuff. Have you guys ever put up a post and it gets so much engagement and people are like, oh, and then you put up something a day later and crickets, and you're like, I mean, there's actually been posts that I've taken down. They weren't caught nothing. I'm just like, okay, nobody's like buying into this. I would rather take it down than have it sit up there with no engagement. So that's part of measuring and kind of keeping up with what you do. If you get something that has a lot of engagement, write back to these people, blah, 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 blah. Send them direct messages. Like if someone says, you know, Rachel, wow, that was so incredible what you had to say about what's going on in your community, da, 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 you know, then at that point, send them a direct message and say, thank you so much for your engagement. You know, I'd love to get together sometime and tell you everything I know about what's going on, blah, 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 right? It's working it. See, so many times I think that we think that these comments and things are BS, and so we don't work them. But it's no different than sitting down and talking to an entire group of people, and somebody raises their hand. That's all they're doing. By putting a comment on, they're raising their hand socially. They raise their hand and they're in the audience, and then we ignore them. We don't even answer their question. That's rude. It's rude on social media too, right? So the rules of engagement have changed. And so that's where for us to build and scale an undeniable brand, I keep saying this because the AI will pick it up as they cut down the video. For us to brand and to scale ourselves to be undeniable, we've got to engage in all the conversations, and it's exhausting. And so I would tell you this: don't go out and try to brand yourself or become an authority or become an influencer until you're ready to do the work, right? It may not be the moment in time right now you want to engage in that. Then I'm going to tell you don't, because you can actually do more harm to your brand, more damage to your brand, if you're not ready to do it and you just leave the whole world hanging. Again, it'd just be like walking into a party and people are like, hey, 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 and you just walk right through the room and you don't make eye contact and you keep walking. And people will be like, what the hell had just happened here? What, like, I hate this person. It's the same thing on social media. So, right, when you decide to do this, be ready. Of course, you want to provide value in everything that you do, right? So if you're putting content out there, make sure it's value, that someone's going to learn something from it. Just don't do it just to do it. Again, if you're not ready to make that commitment, that's cool. Just wait till you're ready. Wait till you're ready to make the commitment, and then go full steam, right? And provide content. And guys, content is so easy to find. It is so easy to find. When I was in the automotive industry, I used to read automotive news, and then I would literally regurgitate it. In real estate, I regurgitate the Wall Street Journal in a magazine called Inman. I just find articles, I read them, I scan them, I do a little more research, and then I just, I put it back out the way I see it. Because again, it doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean anything. But I know that my followers, that they're going to watch a video because they know that I'm going to tell you the way I see it. And you can agree or disagree. That's cool. Doesn't matter. You don't have to watch my video. But that's all part of being authentic and being an expert. And they say it takes 10,000 hours doing whatever you're doing to be deemed an expert. Okay? 10,000 hours. And so, I don't know. Can someone give me the number of how many hours are in a year? Like 24 hours a day times 365. Let's see, calculator. Let's see, 24 times 365 equals. Okay, so there's 8760 if you didn't sleep. So after a couple of years of doing something, right? Because you got to have some sleep time in here and some as my friend Elena Cardone would say, some loaf time. So let's just say that, you know, you're clocking 4,500 hours a year in your expertise in your field. That's 2 years. How many people here, put it in the comments, have been in your field for over 2 years? Just put a yes in there. If you've been in your field over 2 years, you get to call yourself an expert. And if you haven't, then you want to leverage the expertise of somebody else on your team, in your company, or your organization. Right? So there's lots of ways to authentically build a brand, even if you're not quite there yet. Right? If you're not, I mean, I remember when I first got into real estate, I just sure didn't feel like an expert. So I leveraged the fact that my business partner was HGTV's Tariq El Moussa. Hell, he's an expert. He's famous. Why not? So my business partner's Tariq El Moussa. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I don't use that anymore. I mean, I do, but I really don't. Because now I've got the hours, I've done the work, I've had the success. So now I have a different story that I tell. Right? So, you know, your story is also going to be ever changing, ever evolving. And that's the good news too. We're always going to get better. We're always going to get stronger. But if you don't press record, if you don't leverage it, you're going to lose it. So last, of course, is to invest in personal development, which you guys have done today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Next week, it'll be 1 o'clock. And for those of you who jumped on at 1:30 Central, I'm sorry. We had a time change. There was a glitch. But remember that building a personal brand takes time, effort, but the benefits can bring your business. But the benefits it can bring your business in terms of increased visibility, trust, and growth are well worth it. And they are. And there's millions of dollars to be made for every single one of you if you believe it. If you spend your time and your hours investing in yourself, becoming that authority, as you guys can see, to be an expert, you know, technically really is 2 years. All right, to fall under the Webster Dictionary expert at 10,000 hours. I mean, look what it takes to be a doctor or a lawyer. It takes 7 years, 8 years of college. Like, you could realistically tell people, go out and say, hey, I'm an expert when it comes to real estate. I'm an expert in insurance. I'm an expert in the automotive industry. I'm an expert in financial services. I'm an expert in da 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 da. You know, I've done the work. I've done the time. But the only way people will believe you're an expert is if you create content that provides value, that makes them feel like they're going to be better for doing business with you. All right, I've got a few minutes. Oh, okay, so there you go, Nigel. She gave us some good numbers. Does anybody have any questions? Just go ahead and open up the mic. Don't be shy. Really?
Hey,
No?
Lisa, it's your mortgage girl.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, so today was awesome. So thank you so much for pouring into us. Quick question on that StreamYard. So can you link all of your social media accounts to StreamYard to where you don't?
Yes, everything but Instagram.
Okay, excellent.
I swear by StreamYard. Anytime you guys see me live on social media, it's on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, all my Facebook accounts, all at one time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anybody else? How about what were some of the big takeaways today? Like what is somebody convicted to do now? Hopefully something.
I want to get you on a testimonial for me.
There you go. Okay.
And start doing that with my clients. So that was really great. The video testimonial.
Video testimonials. Yep. All right. What about somebody else? Is anybody else going to take action after this?
Hi, Lisa. Thank you.
Hey, Casey.
Awesome. Hi. I really enjoyed it. I have a little anxiety about the videos, but I'm gonna try it.
You look beautiful. I'm looking at you on video right now, and your beautiful green eyes are sparkling. And whatever your lighting is, it's perfect. And you just need to press record.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement.
You're welcome. Be great. Anybody else before we get going? Nigel's lips are moving. I don't know if she's talking to me or someone else.
Lisa. Now I'm unmuted.
There you go, girl.
Okay. I just got into the massage therapy. I'm in my 3rd year, so I'm still building my confidence in who I am and what I do. And I'm using my clients' testimony to me as my foundation to have the belief in myself that I'm going for. So I am working on building a brand for myself, figuring out exactly what I can do.
Well, there's a
And-
special place in heaven for every one of you, is all I have to say. Like, you heal people, right? You're the ultimate problem solver, because if our body is broken, or we don't feel good, or we can't move, then we can't work. We can't do anything. And so
And
Nigel, I would just tell you, you get testimonials, video from
Okay.
your people, and you put it on your Facebook, and you tell people, look, this is what I do, and this is why I do it, because I want to heal bodies. I want to make people feel good. I want to bring them back to their peak performance.
yes,
And this is what Mary has to say about my services. Boom. And whatever that talk track is, girl, that's what you need to do.
yes. And I feel like that I want to do corrective massage over a Swedish massage.
Perfect. I mean, but all of them are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hands raised here who would take any kind of massage. It's the best. The best.
I'll come to you.
Okay, girl, you got it.
All right. Thank you so much
right.
for the content today.
You're
Wonderful.
welcome. You're welcome.
Lisa, I have a question.
Yes, Miss Camille.
Hi, you mentioned you transitioned industry several times.
Yeah.
Did you just start did you take the same storyline and you just started putting it out as a different industry, or did you announce that you're changing? How did you make the transition
Great.
on social
question.
media?
Yeah. So I got into real estate because of the pandemic. So I called it the pivot. I'm like, I've had a big pivot, because all of I'd sold the dealership in 16. I was speaking, I wrote a couple books, and that I was a speaker. So I was going around. In fact, that's how I met Nigel. I spoke at an event that she was at, I remember years ago, with Sean Thomas. And then the pandemic hit, it got canceled. I'm like, oh, only thing I haven't done is real estate. So I kind of framed it up as a pivot. But to answer your question, I remember my first day back in the car business, I made a big announcement. I'm excited to announce, I have made a decision to do this.
Okay.
Because I believe I can help people with this,
Okay.
So, you just make the announcement, and it's hard to make, because you're just like, oh, no one's going to think I'm good. Because especially being a real estate agent, like, oh my God, like, everybody's got a real estate agent.
Yeah,
right?
here comes another real estate agent.
Here comes another real estate agent. Yay. I remember I joined the, oh my God, what's it called up here? The junior league up here where I live. So I thought, oh, I want to meet people, because I moved here a couple years ago. And this is what the girl who signed me up, she goes, oh, great, another real estate agent. And I was like, and I went to one meeting, and I never went back. And it was that one thing she said to me that I was like, right? Like, why would she say that to me? And I'm thinking, okay, so they obviously don't value real estate agents. Why am I going to waste my time, my money, my expertise, and my resources with these people? To hell with them. So, and so that's, and so what I tell my team, and what I would tell my team, people have choices, but at the end of the day, if you can build that brand, that personal brand, that people are like, man, Camille's good. She's smart. She's out there every single day. She's giving me valuable content, valuable information. What do you do, Camille? Are you in real estate?
I'm in insurance, and I'm trying to pivot.
Oh, good. Into real estate?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I've been in insurance for 12 years. And
okay. Well, Marilyn, where's Marilyn? She's on here. She's an insurance. She owns an insurance company.
Okay.
And an accounting company. And she's in real estate, because she's on my team. Marilyn, go ahead.
So, yeah. And if she's on here, I don't see her, but
No,
I'm here.
also, my company runs itself. So it's not like I'm going to stop doing it, but I feel like you have to have a, one storyline with people, and
Okay, Camille,
I don't want people to feel like I'm doing a bunch of things,
Okay, Camille, you've got to meet with Marilyn and talk to Marilyn. She's next to you.
Okay.
She owns a huge insurance company.
Okay.
Owns an accounting firm. Does real estate. Does commercial real estate. Girlfriend never stops. And she would be, Marilyn, would you put your contact info in the chat so you and Camille could connect?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Marilyn's on my real estate team. So if you guys do a deal, we will be working together. But I actually knew Marilyn from the car business. she was, I'd given a car away and she was at an event, and that's how she knew who I was. She started following me, right? Marilyn, tell me if I'm wrong. She started following me. And then many years later reaches out to me and says, I want to do real estate. I want to be on your team. Okay. But she knew me from another life, right? But I never changed. Marilyn, jump in here anytime. I never changed who
Oh
I
yeah,
am.
I was following you for years on Facebook, and I was just always amazed. And when I finally had the opportunity to, to work with you, I was just amazed. And I was talking to a realtor that's been in business like 12 years yesterday. I was telling him about my experience with you and how the great team I'm on, and he was just floored. He was like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky." I said, "I know I am."
I'll bring him over. Come on.
I know. I got his information. I was talking for an hour.
Good, good. But right, but so that's right. But it's because, Camille, like I built a brand years ago. I've got this follower, and now Marilyn's one of my top agents on my team. She crushes it in the commercial space. Oh my God. She's like sells them M&Ms. So, I was able to build my team because of an organization, because of a job I had 12 years ago. Right. But I'm out there. I'm very out there. Most of you follow me probably because that's probably how you would have heard about this training. I'm very out there. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. There are times I kind of get on rants about things. That is what it is. But now I think I have enough confidence in my brand that, I'm willing to take the heat sometimes. I would not recommend that in the beginning. Being authentic is important, and then really building that community before you kind of go out there and take a stand on some things. But anyways, regardless, thank you guys and gals. Camille, please connect with Marilyn. I'm telling you, she's taken your journey, and she's
I will. Thank you.
crushing it in real estate, but she still has her insurance company and it's crushing it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like Farah down here, I met her on Clubhouse. Back when Clubhouse, the big audio app was a big deal. She was in my rooms a lot, right? So, and she's also a very top high producing realtor. I think I met Marta down here on Clubhouse also. And so again, if I would not have built on those social platforms, I wouldn't have these top producing agents on my real estate team. See? So just know that you may not see any results from all the work you're doing on social media for a very long time. And then someday you're going to say something, do something, be somewhere, or somebody's going to need your product or service, and they're going to go, boom, Camille. Oh my God, I've been following her for years. And now I need to do business with her. So the payoff, guys and gals, is not always immediate. I wish it was, but it's not. But when it pays off, it pays off. Lolita over here, she's on my real estate team. I mean, how many years have we followed each other on social media? And I reached out to her, wanted her to join my team. She wasn't ready. Then she had something come up with the company she was with, and it wasn't good. So because I had reached out, we followed each other, I was top of mind. Another top producing agent, right? So this is a marathon, not a sprint. Building a brand, to brand yourself and scale yourself, is a marathon. It doesn't end. You don't get to quit. You don't get to take a day off. You just don't. I wish you did. But every one of you are committed to your success because the same people show up every week. And so now the next step is to go build your undeniable brand. And I just want it for all of you. I just want to hear testimonials a year from now. You're like, oh my God, you said this, I went and did this, and now these are my results. So I'll wrap it with: figure out the problem you solve, create your storyline, define your brand. Let's see. What problem do you solve? Craft a compelling story, create consistent content, and press record. And then I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, next week. Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming.